All right, we are ready to go with your Chargers facing Rapid City Christian. And Burst Clapp is going to step in and lead off for your Chargers here in Game 2. Number 8 on the mound for Rapid City Christian. And Burst Clapp looks at strike one on the outside part of the plate. Curveball in there for strike 2. Number 8 quickly ahead here. Ball down low. One and two to Brooks. Fastball misses just inside. Evens the count at 2-2. Swings through a fastball. And now bring up Tate Connell. Tate is looking to get hit for his third consecutive game. Not get a hit, but actually get hit. And there's a line drive single through the hole. And gets by the left fielder, and you're not going to catch Tate Connell. And that is going to be a single and error on a bullet through the hole on the left side from Tate Connell. And that's going to bring up Pete Zamp. Mrs. Hyde inside to Pete. Ooh, generous called strike. One misses low and inside. So 2-1 to Pete. Tate down on second. Foul backing out of play, and that might hit the bus. Oh, and it does. That's going to wake Carl up. Carl is our bus driver who was nice enough to drive us out here this weekend. Yeah, he's awake now if he's trying to catch a quick nap. 2-2 here to Pete. Harry Nichols on deck. Oh, and that's going to hit him. And Pete pulls a Tate Connell and gets hit.
He's gotten on base all but once. Still is 0 for 2.
So runners at first and second. Harry's going to step in here. And that's going to hit Harry. And so now bases are loaded. And Base is going to be loaded here for DK. Dylan in the 5-hole for this game. Fouled out of play. Abbott Moeller on deck. Corners are in. Middle infield at double play depth. Dylan looks at strike 2. All right, here's the 0-2 to our catcher. Line drive. Oh, and that is going to be a foul ball. It's a good idea by Dylan. So he tried to go the other way through that hole on the right side. Just a tad late on it. Oh, we got a time from the umpire. A little confusing why he has to go back and touch second. Here's the 0-2 again. Ball misses high and inside. Bench is yelling for him to wear it, but I don't really think DK needs to take one off the helmet. Bases juiced. Another foul ball. Dylan battling here, trying to find a pitch he can handle. Here's another 1-2 to Dylan. There's a line drive over the third baseman. That's going to score 1. And that's going to score 2. As Pete's on his horse. And that's a great job by Dylan Connect with a 2 RBI single here. And we're going to get a pinch runner for Dylan, who takes us to a 2-run lead here early in the first. And Dylan doing the catch, and we'll see Will come out and run for him. And I'll bring up Abbott Moeller. So 2 in, runners still at first and second, only 1 out. And that's going to bring up Abbott Moeller. Ball misses high. A lot of talk on the bench as Jake Humple waits on deck. Turns around, looks at his bench with a grin. Curveball in there for strike 1. Evens the count at 1-1.
Let's go, 22.
Ball, good stop by the catcher, keeping that ball in front of him. Count's going to be 2-1. It's the loudest I've heard the dugout so far this year. Another one sails high and inside. So 3-1 here to Abbott. Base hitter, ball 4. Jake Humple chomping at the bit to get up there and swing the bat. Here's the 3-1. That's in there for strike 2. The ball sweeps across the plate from the right hand to the left hand batter's box. All right, the 3-2. Ball misses high, and that's going to be a walk. Good at bat by Abbott there. And that's going to bring up the winning pitcher from last game, Jake Humple. Good quality at bats so far in this inning, and that's going to bring a mound visit from the Rapid City Christian coach. A couple hard hit balls, a couple hit batsmen, and a couple walks. We only one out here in the first. 2 runs already on the board. Bases are loaded. Harry down at third. Abbott at first. And pinch running is Will for DK down at second. Dugout is chattering a lot. I'm sure you guys can hear them all in the background. And here's Jake Humple. That is fouled back and out of play. Your Chargers looking to add more runs here in the first. Jake fouls another one. We're going to run out of balls here real quick. That is 2 that have left the stadium. So, hump behind here, 0-2. Ball misses low and outside. 1-2. Hayden Gorsett waiting on deck. Swing and a miss. Since a drop third strike, nobody can advance. All right. Well, it's going to be up to Hayden here to get something done here with 2 out. Line drive right to second baseman. Gloves. Easy throw over to first, and that'll do it. Your Chargers leave 3. They score 2. And we'll head to the bottom half of the first with your Chargers leading 2-0. On the mound for your Chargers is going to be Mad Dog, who threw 12 pitches yesterday before his team staked him to an 11-run lead, and Coach Gorsett pulled him and saved him for today. Infield, working left to right, we have Hayden Gorsett, Brooks at short. Caden Coulterman taking over at second for Will. Pete Samp at first. Outfield working left to right is Humple, Connell, and Abbott Moeller. Harry doing the DHing today for Mad Dog. DK airmails on the throw down. Number 8's going to step in and lead off here for Rapid City Christian against Mad Dog. Maddox in there for strike one. That is fouled back. Max quickly ahead here, 0-2. Here's the 0-2. Misses high with a fastball. There's one to the backstop. So Maddox has missed high with the last two. And it evens the count here at 2-2. Not really sure what he was trying to throw there. He just couldn't get over top on the curveball, or if it was a high fastball that just missed. Ball misses outside, so after getting ahead quickly 0-2, 3 straight balls has made this count full. And that's strike 3. Maddox made it interesting, but gets him via the K. And that'll bring up number 7 for Rapid City. In there for strike 1. Swing and a miss. And here's the 0-2. Strike 3 as Maddox blows another fastball by him. So 2 quick Ks for Mad Dog. And number 14 is going to step in here for Rapid City Christian. Maddox misses way outside with that one. Looks like he tried to take something off that and misses inside. So behind 2-0. All right, 3-0 after 3 straight misses. Last 2 high and inside. Ball misses outside, and that's going to be a 4-pitch walk. I'll bring up number 30. High and inside. Throw over.
Got him.
Ooh, that was a good throw and good tag by Pete. Just got back in there. In there for strike 1. Evens the count here, 1-1. Misses high. Two and 1 here. There's a line drive. That's going to be into the gap, and that's going to be to the wall. Tate coming over. That's going to bring in 1 on his way to third. Airmails it backing up, and that is going to be a 2-out triple to the gap. And that is going to put the first run on the board for Rapid City Christian as that ball was smoked into the gap. A little high. So runner on third. Pop fly. Going out is Brooks behind second base and makes the catch. And that'll do it. So 1 hit, 1 run, 1 left. And we'll head to the top of the second. Your Chargers still leading 2-1. Got a new pitcher in for Rapid City Christian. Number 24 moves over from first base to the mound. He will face Caden Coltrman and then the top of the lineup. All right, I think we're finally ready here to start. The second inning. Kind of a long delay here with the pitching change. Taking a little bit longer than normal. Hey, this time last night we were still an hour and a half away from starting our game, so we are winning with it currently being 8:20. Oh, and now after the throwdown, we're going to have a meeting on the mound. Rapid City Christian not in a hurry whatsoever to get this game moving along. All right, Caden's going to step in here. He's playing second this game. Strike on the outside part of the plate by big number 24. Brooks clap on deck. Swings through that curveball. He was on it, just swung a little bit underneath it, I think, as that went over the top of his bat. And here's the 0-2. Here's a ground ball back up the middle. That's going to get through, and that is going to be a hit for Caden Colcherman. Leadoff single here in the second. It's a great piece of hitting, getting down 0-2 and not trying to do too much with that, just taking it right back up the middle. And that'll bring up Brooks. Ball misses outside. Tate Connell on deck. Little bit of a hole in that right side for Brooks. Ball misses high. Catcher thought about throwing down, but decided against it. So Brooks ahead here, 2-0. Brooks, strike called on the outside part of the plate. So 2-1 to Brooks. Caden down at first. Here's a ground ball. That's going to be through the hole, and that's going to be back-to-back singles as Brooks puts one between third and short. And we are in business here in the second. That's going to bring up Tate Connell, who smoked a single to left in his last at bat. Tate has not been hit by a pitch this game. For those wondering at home. Tried right there. As Tate looked like he was squaring around to bunt. Ball misses high, so Tate ahead here 2-0. Third baseman is playing back. If Tate was thinking about bunting. I'm not sure what. Is that a balk? That was an interesting move down to second base. Even the pitcher's laughing at it. So 2-0 here to Tate. Ball misses high. Tate is ahead 3-0. And Pete Samp waiting on deck. And that is ball 4. That's going to be a walk. Yeah, the scoreboard was wrong. So 4-pitch walk to Tate. And that's going to bring up Pete. Bases loaded. Nobody out. Really nobody we want up more than Pete Samp in an RBI situation. All right, corners are in. I don't know why they think Pete's bunting. Infield is in. And Pete is 100% swinging away. Ball misses high. Evens the count to Pete at 1-1. Harry Nichols on deck. Oh, curveball catches the outside part of the plate. That's a nice pitch. So 1-2 here to Pete. Nobody out. The ball misses out. Ooh, just outside. So 2-2, bases loaded. The ball misses outside. So Pete's battled back to run this full. Oh, and that hits Pete Samp.
Pete 3, Tate 2.
Pete's dad is pumped that he is now taking the lead on hit batsmen on the team, being hit 3 times so far this year. And that's going to bring in another Sioux Falls Christian run on a hit batsman. Harry's going to step in here. Still nobody out. Still bases loaded. Ball misses high and outside. Harry has a ton of power. Infield still playing in. Ooh, just missed Coach Gorsett down there in the third base batter's box. As that ball goes foul. Coach Gorsett might need to change his pants. And here's the 1-1 to Harry. As that curveball sails over his head. DK on deck. Ball just missed outside. And it's going to be 3-1. Here's a 3-1 to Harry. And he looks at a curveball that cuts over the center of the plate. Runs the count full at 3-2. Oh, that is I'll tell you what, Harry straightens that out. That is a long home run. Just needs to be patient and wait. But man, that went a great distance left and foul. We're going to run it back here at 3-2. Harry gets a piece of that. Harry's doing a great job battling here. This is going to be the 8th pitch of the at-bat for Harry here. That is a sky-high ball on the infield. That is an infield fly rule. Batter's going to be out. So infield fly, and Harry's out. Runners all stay, and that's going to bring up DK. All right, here's DK. Ball looks at ball 1. Dylan looking to find a way to get some RBIs here. Ooh, fouled straight back. Dylan's going to kick himself that he missed that one. He was right on top of that and just fouled it straight back. Abbott Moeller on deck. A 1-1 count here to DK. Ball misses outside. 2-1. And that's going to be strike 2. So 2-2 count here to DK. 1 out, bases loaded. 1 run already in for your Chargers. Ball gets away, and that's going to bring in 1. And that's going to run the count, though, full. Still 2 runners left in scoring position for DK. First base is now open, and your Chargers leading 4-1. And swings over top of it, and that's going to be a strikeout for DK. So it's going to be up to Abbott Moeller to get those last 2 home. There's a line drive into the gap, and that's going to score 2. That's a great job by Abbott. And a 2-out, 2 RBI single. It's going to give your Chargers a 6-4 lead. Well, that's going to bring up Jake Humple. Try and keep this inning going. Abbott goes. There's a throw down to the shortstop side of the base, and Abbott's in there easily. All right, so Abbott steals second in scoring position for Jake. Jake looks at ball 2 high. Hayden Gorsett on deck. As he posts one down the right field line, that is drifting foul. It was the right idea. A lot of space down that right field line for Jake as he reached out, just drifted too far foul. And we're going to do 2-1 here. Big swing and a miss by Jake. Because he looked like he just chopped at that one. All right, 2-2. Ground ball under the pitcher's glove to the second baseman. And Jake is out at first, and they'll do it for your Chargers here in the second inning. But they plate 4, and they lead 6-1, and we'll head to the bottom of the second. All right, Max is going to step on the mound for his second inning of work. And he'll face his counterpart on the mound in number 24. Here's a curveball. Oh, no. They said he didn't swing. Sure looked like he did. That's in there for strike one. Here's the 1-1 from Mad Dog. That sails out of his hand and high. Here's the 2-1.
What's that?
All right, so that's ball 3. The only thing I could possibly think of is it was too good. But it's 3-1. And that's going to be a leadoff walk. So that's a tough leadoff walk after back-to-back pitches that sure the heck look like they crossed the plate. And that's going to bring up number 1. So Max working ahead here, 0-1 after leadoff walk. Ball sails high. So here's the 1-1. Ball misses outside. There's a swing and a miss. So 2-2 now to number 1 for Rapid City Christian. Time called. I think the umpire, the field heard somebody call time, but nobody actually did. And Maddox misses high and outside. So full count here. There's a swing and a miss for out number 1. Number 2 is going to step in. Max working quickly, and he's tried to check up, but went a little too far on that high fastball. You gotta be kidding me. So ball 1. So 1-1. Inside, 2-1. So Maddox having to work a little bit extra this inning. Runner goes, throw down, and he is out. Oh, and the ball falls out of Brooks's glove. And they call it a strike. So 2-2. And swing through that one. So back-to-back Ks after a leadoff walk. And that's going to bring up number 16 for Rapid City Christian. Ball misses inside. Here's the 1-0. Ball missed high here to number 16. So Max behind here. 2-0. Oh. That sounded like it hit his bat. But Max is going to hit a guy. So runners on first and second after the hit by pitch. Maddox steps off. That's in there for strike 1 on a nice curveball. Finally throws one for a strike. Swings. Gets away from DK. Runners are going to move up 90 feet. And Max got him on a curveball into the dirt. And so Max ahead here, 0-2. A strike away from getting out of this inning. DK's got to be careful of anything in the dirt here. There's a weak ground ball. Over to Caden, who bobbles it and then throws it away. And then 2 runs are going to come in. And so the score is going to be 6-3 now. We're in the same pattern that we had last year. We walk people, they score. Swings over top of a curveball for strike 1. So runner on first, 2 runs in. Ball misses low. So here's the 1-1. Throw over. And there's a couple of close pickoff attempts by Maddox. And Maddox throws that one away. And that gets down the line. So runner's going to move up 90 feet on a throwing error by Maddox. He needs to stop worrying about the runner and go get the hitter. No hits in this inning, though. Unless you count the guy that got hit. Fastball. Dylan with the ejecto mitt. And then it's going to be ball 2 and a pass ball. So here's the 2-1 to number 7. Ball misses outside. 3-1. That's a curveball in the dirt, and that's another walk. Runners at the corners, 2 out. 3rd walk of the inning. Ball 1. Max could not find the zone. Well, ball 2. Oh my fucking god. So ball 3. Oh, finally we get a strike call. Yay. So apparently it has to be piped for it to be a strike. So here's the 3-1. Another walk. Hopefully Connor's coming out to talk to him. Thank God. So we're going to have bases loaded. 2 in, 2 out. And Max can't find the strike zone or can't get a strike call.
Probably just sitting in the
All right, well, let's see if Max can figure out a way to get out of this jam without putting any more people on base or having any more runs cross. All right. Let's see if Coach Connor had any words of wisdom. Maddox steps off. Ball misses low. There's a swing and a miss. Finally getting a strike. Ball misses high. Like if he wants to get a call, it has to be just piped down the middle. There's strike 2. Ball misses low. Nowhere left to put this guy.
Maddox, finish him now.
There's a swing and a miss. Batter did him a favor there by swinging at ball 4. So thank God that inning's over. So we'll head to the top of the 3rd with your Chargers leading 6-3. Hayden to lead off here for the Chargers in the third. Caden Coltrman on deck, and we'll see Brooks clap for sure. Chargers lead 6-3. Ball misses low. Oh, they can get some strike calls though, so that's evens the count at 1-1. Ball way outside. So Hayden ahead here, 2-1. There's a line drive going after his left fielder. Ranged into his left, and that ball is down. And Hayden is going to be standing on second. Couldn't see if that was an error or hit. Now I'll let Chad worry about the official scoring. It looks like it was ruled an error. So that'll bring up Caden here. Singled in his last at bat. There's a great bunt right back to the pitcher. And that is a great job by Caden Colchman. Doing a great job of getting the batter over. Oh, sacrifice bunt. Now bring up top of the order in Brooks with a runner on third and only one out. Ball misses inside. Well, the umpire is consistent and consistently terrible. Oh my God. Well, I guess one of your ankles is called strike one, so 1-1. Oh, that just missed. Another pitch at his ankles, but that had to just miss the plate. So 2-1. There's a ground ball back at the pitcher. And no chance for Hayden to advance on that as one hopper right back to the pitcher. All right, that's going to bring up Tate Connell. So 2 out, runner on third. Tate looking to do something. Ball misses outside. Pete Samp on deck. Here's the 1-0. Misses badly outside. Foul back, that's just going to get out of play. So 2-1 to Tate. Way outside. Hayden's going to come in as that ball squirts away from the catcher. And we'll add another run to the board. So Tate ahead here, though, 3-1. All we need is Tate to just find a way on. Swing and a miss for strike 2. All right, full count here for Tate. There's a line drive right at that center fielder who catches that right at waist high. That's a hard hit ball, but that is an out. And that'll do it for the Chargers in the third. They do get one back, and they lead 7-3 as we head to the bottom half of the third. All right, Max is going to come out for his third inning of work. Hopefully he found something in between innings, because I don't want to call another inning like the last one. All right, number 20 is going to step in here for Rapid City Christian. That was a delayed strike call. I was a little bit worried. Oh, strike 2, back-to-back strikes for Maddox. And that's a called strike. All right, here's the 0-2. Tried to overthrow that one and sailed it way high and way outside. Fouled straight back. And we're going to run 1 and 2 again. Ball 2. There's a high fastball by him for strike 3. I'll bring up number 24. Pretty sure he walked on 4 pitches last inning. Max bounce was one in there. So Max behind quickly here, 2-0. The same batter he walked the last inning. Called strike 1. A lot of stretching out in between pitches for the batter. Here's the 2-1. Called strike 2. So here's the 2-2. Misses high. And the count is full. Lot of time in between pitches here. Ton of time.
Let's go.
There's a swing and a miss. And back-to-back strikeouts here in the third for Maddox. That'll bring up number 1. Called strike 1. The outside part of the plate. Looks like he might have found something in between innings. And there's strike 2 as he swings and misses on that one. And here's the 0-2.
Wow!
Well, Dylan must have been setting up outside because he didn't have to move for that one. So here's 1 and 2. And there's a swing and a miss. So 3 up, 3 down, all via the K. And we'll head to the bottom half of the 4th, or the top of the 4th, with Pete Samp leading off. All right, Pete's going to lead off here in the fourth for your Chargers, who lead 7-3. We'll also see Harry Nichols and DK do up this inning. Pete looks at ball. Well, they got one of those two calls, so 1-1 on two good pitches. So here's the 1-1. Ball misses low as it bounces in there. So 2-1 to here to Pete. That's a good curveball there by number 24. So, too far out of the dugout, I guess, for the boys who are all piled up at the end. And here's the 2-2 to Pete. Pete holds up on that curveball. That one was just a little further outside than the other one, but that's a good pitch by the pitcher and a good layoff by Pete. There's a ground ball up the middle, backhanded and off the glove of the second baseman, and that's going to be an infield hit for Pete Samp. And that'll bring up Harry. Getting a little chilly out here now. Rapid City. Shorts was a good idea earlier. As Pete gets his lead at first, Harry steps in here. Harry looks at a curveball over the inside part of the plate. He's been very consistent this inning of that curveball just over the inside part of the plate from Rapid City Christian. Way outside. A lot of chatter in between both dugouts today in this one. 1-1 here to Harry. There's a hard ball down the line, and that's going to get to the fence. And then Pete is going to come around, and Pete is in with a, and that's a stand-up double for Harry Nichols and an RBI. As he hammers one down the left field line. And your Sioux Falls Christian Chargers are going to lead 8-3. It's a great rip by Harry. That's going to bring up DK. Harry gets his lead at second. In there for strike one.
Come on, Dylan. Drive him home.
Ball misses high and outside. Ball bounces in there. Good stop by the catcher. Keep that ball in front of him. So 2-1 here to DK. Harry down at second. Another one bounces in there. So 3-1 here to DK. And that ball stays high. And that's going to be it's going to put runners on first and second with nobody out. And that's going to bring up Abbott Moeller, who hammered one to the gap in his last at bat, bringing home a couple guys. We're going to get a pinch runner for DK, though. And it's going to be Will. And we are going to have a pitching change, so we will be back with that. All right, Abbott's going to step in here to face a new pitcher. And he's going to have runners on first and second and nobody out. And your Chargers have already plated one in this inning. Bounces in there. That's going to get by the catcher. And each runner is going to move up 90 feet. So Abbott here looking for a couple more RBIs with Jake on deck.
Nice.
Swings over top of that curveball. So 1-1. Ball misses low and inside. Oh, good stop by the catcher. As another one in the dirt. So here's the 3-1 to Abbott. And he looks at strike 2, runs the count full. Here's a high chopper, and that's going to get a job done. Oh, that ball in the dirt, and Abbott is going to be safe. Harry comes in to score. That's going to be a tough play for the second baseman on that high chopper over the pitcher's head. Give Abbott an RBI single on that. Don't know how the official scorer is going to score it, but so runners at the corners. Abbott barely back. Probably should slide. No reason. I think Coach Steve's telling him the exact same thing I just said. Runner goes. That's in there for a strike. Right back to the pitcher. As Abbott steals second. And an 0-1 count here to Jake. There's a ground ball to second. That will get a job done. Jake is out, but that's an RBI ground out. And that is how you play small ball. And Abbott moves up 90 feet. So good job by Jake. As your Chargers plate their 10th run of the game, third this inning, only one out. Still a runner on third, and Hayden Gorsett coming up. Oof. Ball missed outside for ball 1. Caden Coltrane on deck. Ooh, misses inside to Hayden. Hayden ahead here 2-0. Third baseman playing in on the grass. So ground ball anywhere else should score a run. There's a line drive, foul. Hayden trying to get a job done, trying to get that runner home from third. This is way outside, and that's going to bring home Abbott, as that ball's just going to sit on the fence. And that is going to be ball 3 to Hayden, and the 11th run on the board for your Chargers. So we'll at least see Hayden and Caden. Hopefully we can find a way to get to Brooks and Tate. There's a fly ball into left center. Coming over as a center fielder and makes the grab for an out. That's a hard hit ball by Hayden. Unfortunately, it's kind of hung up in the air and caught by the center fielder. And that will be the second out of the inning. And that'll bring up Caden here with nobody on and 2 out. Big cut on a fastball there. I like the aggressiveness of Caden there on that swing. Oh, that's a curveball in there for strike 2. So Caden in an 0-2 hole here. Misses inside. Way outside. So that'll even the count at 2s. Caden swings over top of that curveball, and that'll do it for your Chargers here in the 4th. 4 more come home, and they lead 11-3. And we'll head out for the bottom of the 4th, and we'll be back. Maddox out for his 4th inning of work. And misses high and outside. Takes a little something off in there for strike 1 to number 2 for Rapid City Christian. In there for strike 2. So 1-2 now. Ball sails high. So here's the 2-2. Oh, wow. Come on.
Let's tighten it up some more.
Ball 3. And it's the same pitch. It's the same pitch in the same spot, and that's a strikeout. But never been more disappointed about a strikeout. Unfortunately, Max has had to throw a bunch of extra pitches in this game because of the zone of this umpire. It's about as big as a softball is the zone. There's a swing and a miss, so you can't argue balls and strikes on that one. And that is fouled out of play. Foul ball cannot be argued. That's a ball or strike. That is a strike. So Max ahead 0-2. There's a curveball for strike 3. Dylan's glove never moved. And that is strikeout number 10 for Mad Dog on the day. And the second out of the inning. In there for strike 1 to number 8 for Rapid City Christian. There's a curveball he swings over top of in strike 2. Max has kind of really figured something out here in the last 2 innings after the dumpster fire that was inning number 2. High and tight on that one. So 1-2. And the Rapid City Christian dugout is constantly meowing as their batter strikes out. And that is number 11 for Mad Dog. And we'll head to the 5th. And your Chargers leading 11-3. Top of the order due up for your Chargers. And we'll see a new pitcher. Brooks to lead off for us here in the 5th. So top of the order coming up. Chargers leading 11-3. It is still the same kid that ended last inning. Forgot they made a pitching change. Yes, I'm still eating pistachios, if any of you guys are wondering, as Brooke steps in. Misses inside on a good pitch. There's a ground ball up the middle, and that's going to get through, and that is going to be the leadoff single for Brooks. And then it will bring up Tate Connell. Ball in the dirt. Good stop by the catch. Tate ahead here, 0-1 or 1-0. There's a fly ball that should get out of play, and it doesn't, but the right fielder doesn't get there in time. So it's going to be a foul ball for Tate, and that'll even the count at 1-1. Ball misses outside. Brooks has not looked to run yet. Here's a hard ground ball, backhanded by the shortstop. Long throw. It's going to be. It gets away from the first baseman. And Brooks coming home. Here's the throw, and he is safe. And Tate ends up on third. And that's a great job. And that will be the 12th run of the day. So Tate 90 feet away with Pete Samps stepping in and nobody out. In there for strike one to Pete. Way outside. So 1-1 here to Pete. Strike two on the outside part of the plate on that curveball. Infield playing at normal depth. So a ground ball should get Tate home. Ball bounces in there. Catch doesn't know where it is. Doesn't advance too far, so Tate cannot get home. So 2-2 here to Pete. Misses low and inside. So Pete's battle back here to run the count full. There's a ground ball to the second baseman under his glove. And that is going to bring home Tate Connell. As that ball rolls under the second baseman's glove. Tate was going to score on that regardless. Good piece of hitting by Pete. And we are going to have a pinch hitter as Trey Pater is going to come in and hit for Harry Nichols. Oh, we're still nobody out here in the fifth. Ball low. And we're going to have a pinch hitter for DK. Which is going to be
Let's go, Trey.
Jackson McCulley in the on-deck circle as that ball misses high. Popped foul, and that is going to get off the top of the dugout. Here's the 2-1. There's a curveball chopped, and that is going to get through. Oh, knocked down by the shortstop. That's going to be an infield hit for Trey Pater, though. Trey hit it perfectly right into the hole between third and short. And the shortstop going to his backhand side just couldn't corral it. And then it's going to bring up Jackson McCulley. And we are going to have another pitching change. So I will be back with a new pitcher. All right. And Jackson McCulley's going to step in now against new pitcher. And I wasn't really paying attention to his number 13. Excuse me. Pistachio stuck in my throat as that ball misses high. There's a swing and a miss. And we got a pinch hitter for Abbott. That's going to be Zach Vandehart. Jackson popped up, back towards the fence, and right up against the fence. So 1-2 here to Jackson.
Chargers, go Jack!
Ball misses low. So 2-2 here. Runners at first and second. Nobody out still here in the fifth. With your Chargers leading 13-3. Up at the eyes of Jackson. He's going to run the count here full. Ball bounces in there. And bases are going to be loaded here for Zach Vandehar. Zach is going to hit here for Abbott. So bases loaded. Nobody out. Ball misses high. Jake Humple on deck. Swing and a miss. There's a good cut there from Zach. Just a little ahead of that one. Here's the 1-1. Zach looks at strike two over the inside part of the plate. Appreciate everybody in the Central Time Zone staying up with us the last two nights for these games, as it is currently 10:50 Central Time. And Zach looks at strike three on the inside part of the plate, and that's going to be the first out of the inning. That's going to bring up Jake Humple. Looks like Will is going to be in the on-deck circle for Hayden Gorsett. Strike one on Jake. I guess here I guess it's getting late. I guess we're going to open up the strike zone now. Oh, that just missed. Evens the count at 1-1 here to Jake. And by just missed, I mean it was above his head, but didn't know how far we were going to open up the strike zone to start calling stuff, so. Well, another one just missed at his eyes. So 2-1 here to Jake with the bases loaded and only one out. 2-1 count. 13-3 Charger lead. And here's a 2-1. Lined, ooh, right at the dugout of Rapid City Christian. So 2-2. With plenty of ducks on the pond. There's a ground ball chopper coming in. Throw home, and he is going to be out on a fielder's choice. Play at the plate. And so that's going to bring up Will here. And we're going to get a pinch runner here for Jake. And it looks like number 8's going to come in and run. I'm not sure who that is. I'm having a hard time keeping up with all the changes Coach Gorset's making, so we'll hope it all works out. Regardless, bases are loaded. Will's up. And there are 2 out. Ball misses low. We'd like a couple extra runs here heading to the bottom of the 5th. Ball misses outside. So 2-0 here to Will. Here's a foul ball back at us and off the restrooms. It's going to be bringing the count to 2-1. Ball misses high as Will ducks out of the way of that one. It's a 3-1 here to Will. It looks like Liam is on deck. That's going to be fouled, and that is going to get out of play. And we're going to have a full count here to Will. All right, here's the payoff pitch to Will. There's a line drive into the hole, and that is going to score 2. Ball gets away. So an RBI, 2 RBI single out of Will brings home 2 more. And Will with 4 RBIs in the last couple games. So Will singles in between third and short. All right, well, Liam's going to step in here with a chance for a couple RBIs. With runners on second and third. 2 outs, though. And Brooks is on deck. Ball misses low, and that's going to get away from the catcher. Doesn't know where it is. Ooh. As the catch slips on the on a mat over there. And that wild pitch brings home another run. And your Chargers are going to lead 16-3. And that ball's going to get away. And Will's going to score. So 2 quick balls here to Liam. 2 out. 6 runs in on the inning. Your Chargers have scored in every inning so far in this game, and they lead 17-3. That ball misses high. So 3-0 here to Liam with Brooks on deck. In there for strike 1. Testing 1, 2. And that's another walk, so back-to-back walks here. And we're going to have another visit to the mound. All right, well, now we should have audio back as my microphone battery died, so apologize for all those that missed out on my soothing voice and call of the game. Here's what you missed. You missed, I think, a couple walks. Chargers leading 17-3, 2 outs here in the top of the 5th, and Tate Connell coming to the plate. And this is going to be the, I don't know, 3rd pitcher of the inning as the team decides take a load off, and I'll sit behind as their pitcher warms up. Oh, just trying to find a way to get to the bottom of the fifth and find 3 quick outs as we approach the 10 o'clock hour out here in Rapid City, and we are already there. Oh, never mind. Tate is not going to hit. We'll make another change here. And we're going to make a sub for, I think it's number 9 is I think it's Jake Sprick is what I heard him calling. Not quite sure how to spell his name, but we'll give it a shot.
He's not on the varsity list.
So Jake Sprick into bat. And he drives one the opposite way. And that is going to be caught by the left fielder as he gave it a ride.
Way to get it on poke!
And that will do it on a long out by Jake Sprick.
Way to go, Sprig!
So we'll head to the bottom of the fifth. And I assume we'll see a brand new pitcher. And that new pitcher is going to be Pete Samp coming in to finish this out. So Maddox Munson's day ends. 4 innings, 11 Ks, a bunch of terrible calls from behind the plate. 1 hit, 1 earned run, hit a guy, walked some. But we'll, barring 5 runs being scored, this should be the last inning for today. Defensive changes, we've got Trey Pater at first. Liam is at second. At short is Brooks is still in at short. At third we have Will. Humble out in left. Tate Connell in center. And in right we have, not sure who's out in right. DK back in still doing the catching. Well, short seemed like a good idea earlier today. They are all right, number 3 is set to lead off for Rapid City here in the 5th. Pete Samp on to pitch. Pete rocks and fires for strike 1. Missed outside for ball 1. Curveball in there for strike 2, and Pete is ahead here 1-2. Swing and a miss on a curveball, and Dylan applies a tag. And that is another strikeout for your Chargers, and the first one on the year for Pete Samp. 14 will step in here for Rapid City with 1 out and nobody on. Just a bit outside there for Pete. Here's the 1-0. In there for strike 1. Evens the count at 1-1. Foul back at the, just missed the camera. And it looks like we're all right. Well, here's the 1-2. Curveball in there for strike 3. And 2 quick strikeouts from Pete. And Rapid City Christian down to their last out.
Is this a save situation? He's saving the parents.
He's saving me from freezing, so it is a save situation. Curveball in there for strike 1 at the knees. And the 0-1 here. Another curveball in there for strike 2, and Pete needs one more pitch to send us home for the evening. And there it is, gets a swing, and that will do it. Your Sioux Falls Christian Chargers come in and go 3-0 against B competition and earning some much valuable points for their team. We got one game left on this road trip. We'll play a very tough Rapid City Stevens team tomorrow at 1 p.m. allegedly. We'll see if we start on time. Otherwise, that is it from Rapid City. Chargers sweep a pair today, both via the run rule. Winning pitcher Maddox Munson, and as far as I'm concerned, I'll give Pete Samp a save because I am freezing. So, good night, and we'll see every